The ultimate inspiration was the idea of the speaker, which is the star of the show, and how we were going to house the speaker. Then we came up with the idea for home. Sounds like home. It kind of kept going. When Edith got involved too, it was like, let's build a home. And then it was like, let's build a neighborhood. So this was inside the home, in the living room. Because when we cut down the houses, we utilized all the different rooms in an abstract sense. So it's a bit of a play on suburbia.
Yeah, but it's not a serious thing.
Behind the pristine, kind of perfect lives were these, Valley of the Dolls. That's probably what appeals to Karen and I. And then, so obviously we couldn't do 50 rooms, but this was representative of the bedroom. It's just kind of, how do we keep telling our story?
It's very whimsical, and the dollhouses, in a sense, are also whimsical. So I kind of think Edith's work and our work go hand in hand.
Nitz and Edith worked together on the exterior of the building. That was kind of one of the ideas of the houses turning started there, because if it turns, you can see the whole thing from the street and it makes it more interesting, right?
Yeah. The corner store, like we said, the whole inspo is really 1950s, 1960s. So we wanted to recreate a life-size corner store that obviously had a bunch of Brendan and Karen's collection of old toys. And
this is all of our personal stuff, but we made it into bags. And when you remember going in as a kid, you were like, oh my God, that's so cool. I wanted this, I want that, I want that. Of course, you could buy nothing. It was just to create that magic, right? We were always trying to create
the best part
is
is
magic.
they're all antique too.
Yeah. Just to recreate the vibe. I think it did a pretty good job.
It's a neighborhood. You walk in, you see your corner store.
It's a part of suburbia. So every suburban place had a corner store, at least in our recollection of suburbia. And this was our attempt to recreate it. And also, it's a little bit about function. We had to be selling stuff somewhere, like the t-shirts were all for sale and the bags are all for sale.
So this whole concept started as, it was just a carry through of the dollhouse concept, and we made little wardrobes with a collection of vintage clothing, accessories.
We had a lot of the leftover insides of the houses, so we wanted to utilize those. Then we said, why don't we just make wardrobes, keep it consistent, and papered the old boxes and just kind of represented what we thought was cool. It was completely visual, at the end of the day. This product actually is called the choir, so that allowed us to run wild with the idea of a choir. Karen was at my house one night, and when she was leaving, I have one of these old vintage churches, like they actually are, it's a real one. And she said, why don't we put the choirs in these things, which I thought was just genius. And then, so we set about making them, which maybe wasn't genius, but we made them. They took forever.
The goal of this room was kind of to form, obviously, a choir, but also...
Yeah, and then we developed that concept, and where's the choir?
Mini church kind of, sort of.
Yes.
It's not religious, it's more just a nod to the iconography, I guess you'd say, of the church and how we remember it.
And I think that's what this wall represents.
Yeah, so we made those, we stitched them together, but it was all just abstract collage-y stuff again.
When you come in here, that you see, it's like you're in another world. We were relating it to town. Here you have these images on the wall that represent the neighborhood, and it's like it's a house in the town.
When you're around the corner and you actually go into the house, it's like, oh wow, that was actually real. It's not just a fake facade. The whole world was really constructed, I think that's the beauty of it. Even seeing it now come to life more than just on paper is how great it actually looks, from all the little touches, like the windows and the plants. That's Edith. Yeah. She made that. We didn't say make a plant.
No, that's all her vision.
She had a vision of it, and we just knew we wanted the exterior of a house. We did a few iterations, right? Wouldn't you say? There was a couple. Because the idea of a house in Europe and the idea of a house here are different,
very different,
right? And so this is kind of more our suburban, right? It took about 7-8 months, maybe almost even a year or two for the start of conversation to here, but it feels really good. It feels successful.
Yeah, it's all come together pretty close to what we were thinking. So very rewarding, and quite happy with the way everything came together.
Yeah, running a business is obviously not easy, especially in the industry we're in, when it comes down to creativity, design, and a product. When we all rally together around a singular idea and decide to move that forward, there are a lot of variables that we need to think about, such as shipping, the design of our site, or even how we want to digitally roll out a product. Shopify's been one of the most incredible partners and tools for us in helping us stay on top of all these things in a pretty straightforward way. It's very advantageous for us. It gives us the time and space to do what we do best as creatives. Shopify has been an amazing partner to us as a tool and as a company. And it's great to know as creative entrepreneurs, they have our backs.